Hey everyone, it's Andrew Warner, founder of Mixergy.com, and I recently did an interview with Mateo Gutierrez. He is currently at ThisNext, where he's helping them build an online community, but Mateo, for the last decade, has been helping companies build communities. And I did this interview because I wanted you to learn how to build a community around your business. Why? Because I know that if you have a community of fans, of customers, of users who are all helping you build your company, it's going to grow bigger faster than if you were just doing it alone with the people inside your company. That's why I want you to have a community. That's why I did this interview with Mateo and asked him to teach you. That's why I've been doing, if you notice, several interviews and having several conversations about how to build community. All right, so let's see what we learned, some of what we learned from Mateo. I say over and over, I'm just summarizing a few ideas here. If you download the interview, you're going to learn a whole lot more directly from Mateo. So here's point number one. Identify your influentials. The first thing you want to do is figure out who are the most active communicators inside your community. These are the people who are already talking to your community members. These are the people who are already embracing your community. Identify them because you're going to want to work with them the most and have them help you build your community out. So once you identify them, what do? You increase their recognition. You want to make sure that people in the site know that they're special. You want to make sure that they know that they're special. You want to recognize them. And that could mean that if you're working on a game that has a virtual world, the way Mateo did in the past, that you give the characters of your influentials special outfits. It could mean that you give titles to your influentials. It could mean that you somehow on their profiles on your website identify them with just a little badge. Find a way, recognize them, let everybody know that they are your influentials, they are your superstars. Next, give them power. You want them to help build your community, you want them to help build your company, you need to give them power to do that. So on certain message boards, the influentials have the ability to boot, to just kick off users who are abusive. On other networks and other communities, influentials have the power, and they alone have the power to recruit new members. On aSmallWorld.net, that's the way it works. Only certain members have the power to recruit new members. It's not a free-for-all. So you want to give them power to actually help you build that community. And think about what you want your community to be. Think about what you want the community members to do, and that will help guide you in the powers that you give your influentials. Next, you're getting them to do work. You want to make sure that they get the rewards that they need. In games, rewards could mean superpowers within the games. Rewards could also mean special recognition. It could mean sending traffic to their website. It could mean helping build their web celebrity. Mateo says that he's been noticing that there's a lot of value, that a lot of people place value on web celebrities. You might have noticed that online video services will take their biggest influentials, their rock star users, and give them as a reward placement on their home page. Find a way to give rewards and make sure that it's appropriate for the users who you're drawing to your website and the influencers who are helping you build your community. All right, my final note from this conversation is create a point system. Mateo said something that you probably noticed if you've been on the internet for a while, that points are a big motivator on websites today. In fact, if you remember the early days of MySpace, how people would recruit their friends to join MySpace because they wanted that big friends number to just keep going up and up and up. You might remember that on Dig, there was a leaderboard on Dig.com, and people were fighting to become some of the top users on Dig so that they could be recognized on the leaderboard and have all kinds of other powers along with that. What gets measured gets done. Think about a statistic, a metric that's important for you and your community. Measure it. More importantly, make that number visible to your users and their friends, and watch as they start to work to increase that number. All right, these are just some of my notes. Mateo and I talked about lots of ideas on how you can build your community, and he's speaking directly from experience. This isn't a person who just studied it. It's a person whose job over the last 10 years has been to implement ideas that will help people grow communities. And I asked him, what do you do if you're just starting out? What do you do if you have a company that's already established? What do you do in this case? What do you do in that case? What's step one, step two, and so on? If you download the interview, you're going to have a really thorough understanding of how to build a community. All right. That's it for today. Till next time, I'm Andrew Warner, founder of Mixergy.com, and I hope to see you live and in person and shake your hand at one of my Mixergy events.